When I first started playing Paragon, I actually thought Howitzer was one of the coolest heroes, just by concept. It's like this war raccoon in a mech. Super cool. However, as I started getting more experience with it, Howitzer, while he is a great hero, he's not necessarily the best. And in Monolith, especially at the end, well, he really wasn't doing that great. I took a lot of inspiration from how T.O. Mikey used to play Howitzer, and I think, as I explain my rework for Howitzer, you'll really come to love it. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome
Howitzer
to a hero rework video. I am Sylphin. Once again, we are reworking heroes, and there's a few things off the bat. One, this in no way represents what Unleashed Games is going to do or will do. This is just my ideas that I, made with the community on a couple streams as well. So these are just my ideas and my ideas alone. Two, we have to add hero passives because hero passives are coming back. So we have to kind of think about that and, what kind of passive best suits the hero and their gameplay style. With that, please ignore all of the numbers in these reworks, as that's ultimately just for the balanced team. And what I want to do is simply get across concepts to you and gameplay styles and gameplay loops, and then the numbers can be tweaked according to balance, of course. So just basically forget numbers, just think of the concept of what's going on behind this. Third, I personally would like a quest sort of mechanic that if you do a certain thing well, then you are rewarded for it. In terms of somebody's heroes and abilities, they get empowered or get stronger, stuff like that. Because I think that adds another cool element to the gameplay and just kind of can help people play better even. It can be used as an educational tool as well. So with that all out of the way, we come down to Howitzer. And like all hero design, in my opinion, it needs to start with a gameplay niche or a theme or a gameplay style that fits the hero roster. This hero needs a particular role within the hero roster, and you have to go, I need this hero for a particular reason because they do this well, and I need that in this game in order to be successful. So what is that gameplay niche or that gameplay style? How do they fit into the hero roster? And then emphasize that and draw upon that to, inform their abilities and their passives and whatnot. So if you guys watched T.O. Mikey way back when, he played a mean Howitzer, and I mean a mean Howitzer. I think he really got the essence of Howitzer and what he could do. And Mikey played him as, at least in my opinion, he played him as this medium range control high damage mage. You landmine them, you knock them into a certain direction where your slow grenades are, that they come up and deal damage and slow them. Then you R2000 missile them to the face, right? And then he's this medium range control, just burst. Here's these three abilities. The slow grenades, unfortunately, didn't really work too well, but the landmine R2000 missile certainly did. And you know what? Mikey played him monstrously, and I kind of want to emphasize that. This medium range, not long range, this medium-ish range, medium in terms of caster, so a little bit farther than ranged basic attack range or something like that. Control with the slow and the grenades, and obviously the knockback from the landmine. High damage mage. He bursts you down with these abilities because he relies upon them for the slow and the knockback, and then goes about his business, trading with you or just doing normal stuff. That's Howitzer. That's Howitzer to me, and he would be amazing to be played like this. So that is how, at least in this video, my own idea, how I'm going to be reworking Howitzer. And that passive, somebody in chat came up with a beautiful idea, and I was like, yep, that's it. That's it, hands down. Passive. Howitzer empowers his abilities with extra explosives, spending 25 energy, this new resource for Howitzer, per ability cast. 25 energy per ability cast. Great, you just gain you just have this energy that you spend per ability cast. Simple as that. Howitzer gains 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 energy per second to a maximum of 100. And each point of energy spent increases his ability damage by 0.75%. Ability casts under 20 total energy will use what energy remains. What does that mean? So you spend 25 energy per ability cast, and if you have less than 25, sorry, that's a typo. If you have less than 25, then you just use what's remaining in your energy pool. So you have 100 maximum, you regen 1, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 per second, you know, as you level up from 0, you're level 5, you're level 10, you're level 15. You regen that energy up to 100, and whenever you spend an ability, you spend 25 energy out of that pool to empower your ability, damage by 0.75% per energy point. So 25 turns into 18, right? 18% increased ability damage. So basically, if as long as you have 75 energy or more, your 3 main abilities used in conjunction will have 18% additional ability damage. If you don't have 25 energy, well then you'll maybe only grab the 12 that you have, and that turns into, what is that, 8% ability damage? You'll grab the 10 that you have, 7.5% ability damage. So you're encouraged to wait until your energy is maybe built up to 75 or so, and then boom, there's your slow grenades. There's your slow grenades into your missile, into your landmine, or landmine into slow grenades, R2000 missiles, stuff like that. Or you can try to just walk up to somebody and R2000 missile them a whole bunch of times, you know, and not use your ability, to not use all of your energy, stuff like that. Basically, it just incentivizes you to use all of your abilities at once, regen that ability, really emphasize his combo nature, or his high damage mage burstness. Kind of bursty, but there you go. Kind of a cool mechanic. Energy, really cool. Would that affect his ultimate? I don't know, actually. That's a pretty good, it's a pretty good question. Maybe it should, you know? If you're really waiting up and you're just waiting on 100 energy, boom, there's your 3 main abilities, and then boom, you ult, and there's 18% ability damage. I don't know. So that's his passive. Pretty cool. Really incentivizes you to basically just kind of trade. You know, trade on high energy, kind of slowly, intermittently. That's the word I'm looking for. So his next ability, slow grenades. Howitzer launches a group of slow grenades in a wide arc in front of him. It's the same thing. Each grenade stays on the ground for 6 seconds and explodes if an enemy gets close for that 6-second duration, or until that 6-second duration expires. Then it deals damage, slowing for 35, 40, 45, 50% for 2.5 seconds, 8-second cooldown. Yeah, it just needs to be a little bit more, definitely much more reliable. I think that if he shoots it out and the grenades come in contact with an enemy, they should explode. So it's kind of like on contact, instead of going to the ground, deploying, and then exploding, because usually that actually didn't happen. And enemies would just walk out of it, and you'd be like, great. There's one ability. It was very seldomly used, and well, if you used it appropriately, I suppose, but it wasn't very consistent. That's the point I'm making. So maybe it would explode on contact very quickly, so that you could actually use it consistently. Next ability is his R2000 missile. This one is not long range; it's medium range, so a little bit beyond range basic attack range or something like that. Definitely not what it used to be. Even though it was buffed to be long range again, maybe it was. I'm not sure. Definitely not long range, but a medium range, a little bit beyond range basic attack, that deals increased ability damage from what it did before to make up for that decreased range. 8-second cooldown. Howitzer, but this is the important part. Howitzer can hover and move while confirming this ability. So remember that you'd be able to hold up his missile arm for like 3 seconds or something. You know, waiting to confirm it, to aim or whatever. You should be able to hover and move while confirming this ability. If you are hovering over the ground, though, you're levitating. You're using the 3D, that third vertical dimension, to your advantage. If you are hovering, though, with the ability, you have to shoot it. You can't cancel it and not shoot it because you're getting value from it, right? So if you're hovering over a ledge, for example, trying to get away from somebody with your R2000 missile, you should have to be able to, or you should be forced to use the ability and not just cancel it and then be able to use it again immediately. So you can hover, because why is that important? Because Howitzer, you just like you get your R2000 missile. Oh, Kwang root. Oh, Severog subjugate. Oh, stun. Oh, like he was so vulnerable with his R2000 missile. And you have to move and hover while confirming this ability. After hitting 25 enemy heroes, though, the cooldown is reduced by 2 seconds, giving you the opportunity to use it more, deal more damage, more bursty. If you really want to spend that energy, go ahead. There's the R2000 missile, so you can use your combos a little bit more. R2000 missile into your landmine, into your slow grenades, and have one available for after that combo is done, after a few seconds, of course. So basically, it actually does a little bit more than you think. You know, you'll be able to use it 2 times when otherwise you could have been able to maybe use it once, and then they would have gotten out of range by the time you had your second 8-second cooldown off. So that R2000, that 2 seconds does more than you think. The last ability here is Landmine, a close range mine that explodes after 2.5 seconds on the ground or after reactivation, dealing damage and launching units and Howitzer away from the central point of impact. Not much different. The 8-second cooldown or whatever it was, 10, 12, that doesn't change really at all, because yes, it took skill. It took skill and experience to use, and that's exactly what you want. His ultimate was Make It Rain. I'm recalling it and reworking it into tactical nukes. Essentially, it's reversed of what you did before. So think of Howitzer's ultimate. It's reversed. Reverse how his ultimate works. From beginning to end, it now goes end to beginning. Howitzer sends up a targeting laser from that antenna that you're seeing there. He has a little antenna. He shoots up a targeting laser from his antenna, summoning down missiles on nearby enemies within probably 50% farther than range basic attack range, like pretty large area, that deal damage in a small radius. Essentially, boo! There's this big laser that comes up out of Howitzer. There's maybe this, you know, air raid audible cue, because, you know, if his ult is going to be this as consistent as I'm suggesting it, he needs some visual audio cue for the enemy to maybe be able to stun him or stuff like that, canceling the last nuke. After 2 seconds of these missiles raining down on nearby enemies, Howitzer then rockets up into the air and places the location of the final nuke, the final missile, dealing massive damage in that target area. It's reversed of what it used to be. This is much more consistent, and actually, because it's based around his location for the first 2 seconds, you have to be fairly close to the enemy team. You have to be fairly close, and that goes with his medium range, high damage mageness. So you kind of have to get a bit closer, use your ult. You know, maybe these missiles start coming down on enemy heroes that are around you, then you rocket up after a little duration and place that final nuke in a target area that is so that it's actually usable. So you can actually get some damage out of it. Because he's not necessarily a zoning hero anymore, because of that medium range, you have to make his abilities a little bit more consistent for the damage aspect. Because Gadget, as you saw in the previous video, was a zoner. Howitzer, he's more damage, so he needs a little bit more consistency with that. That is his abilities, guys. That's his rework. You'd be so much fun with this. Playing with your energy, saving it up. How much energy do I have? Do I do a full combo? Do I just do a little bit of a combo? A landmine into my R2000 missile? Or do I have 75 energy for the whole, my whole basic ability combo? Or do I have 100 energy and I really want to nail down these two heroes? There's one enemy hero. Use my ult into my next 3 abilities. You know, it'd be really cool. You're playing with this high controlled, high damage mage that bursts. He uses his abilities for burst. It'd be a lot of fun. And if you guys, again, ever watched T.O. Mikey way back when, maybe his VODs are still up on his Twitch channel, go and watch him because he was a beast with Howitzer, and that's where I got the inspiration from. So thank you to him, and thank you for the community for helping me rework Howitzer. Please like the video if you like it, dislike it, dislike it, share it with the community. Of course, guys, subscribe. If you guys want more of this content, let me know down in the comments. And of course, stay optimistic and positive.